Okay, morning everyone. Welcome to briefing on Saturday the 9th. So, you've all probably heard the BBC and radio forecast that it's going to get warm from sort of Monday onwards. This high pressure is actually here to stay. The jet streams well to the north. Not really anything to move it out of the way. But for today, I think we're just in a more northerly flow. Slight northwesterly on the ground, I think, at times. So a little bit cooler, a bit more pleasant. It was 27 degrees today, will probably be 26 today. 27 degrees yesterday, 26 today. So, comfortable temperature. But as this settles in from Sunday, Monday onwards, certainly getting warm. They're talking about 32, 33 degrees. So fronts floating around this high pressure, they're fairly weak affairs. You'll see that on the sat pic, and there's reasonable spacing with the isobars, so it's just a northerly breeze. It's not that strong, but it is a bit of an awkward direction for us to operate with. Pressure's fairly high, stable, air mass 1032, and the TAFs are, as you would expect, relatively short. 350 degrees, 8 knots. Yeah, sounds about right, actually. Looking at the other forecast, scattered at 4.5. I think, yes, later on there'll be a little bit like yesterday. It'll be, although it's sort of predicted a bluish day, there were cumulus about, a reasonable amount of cumulus at times. 4,500 feet seems about right. In terms of upper winds, it's northeasterly going down through the channel here because it swings around that high pressure, but over us 340, 350 flying heights, 10 knots for most of the day. And the sat pic shows, as you saw, that cold front on the chart that at midday at 1 o'clock looked like it was in the channel. I think this is it running through here, very weak cloud feature, and it is only broken cloud. Most places north of here at the moment are giving sort of overcast or broken at 2.5. So it is just a feature, no more than that at the moment, and it'll break up, I think, as the morning goes on. But it is going to be a factor just for the morning. In the afternoon, we'll be in this air mass here. Looks quite nice. It doesn't really appear to be much sort of associated thick upper cloud, or wisps of cirrus here and there floating about. It shouldn't really cause too much of a problem. Temperature profile, yeah, maybe 27, 28 in London, but I think more like about 26 around us and up to the north today. Dew points are going to be a little bit lower than yesterday. They're talking about 9s. I think if the dew points 9s to 10s, if they stay around there, a reasonable amount of cumulus, and just like yesterday, if it goes down to sort of 7s, more chance of blue or fewer cumulus. And playing around with the soundings, the one for here shows this cloud tucked in here at 9-10 o'clock that we've got now, and as we move it forward to 1 o'clock, it starts to open up, and I think by that time, with sort of 23, 24 degrees, the dew points around 10, you've probably got cloud base 4,000 feet, hopefully, maybe a little bit more. And then late in the afternoon, perhaps do what it did yesterday. The lines come apart a little bit more, dew points go down a bit further, and it starts to blue out. Or far less cumulus around here. Further north, this is the Bicester Buckingham area. In the afternoon, if the dew points are 9s, then yeah, cloud base could get up to 5,000 feet above sea level. Certainly 4.5 to 5. Cloud tops, not much more than about 5.5. And only sort of, maybe 2 to 3/8 at the most. But if dew points drop down below about 9, yeah, you're going to start to see much less cumulus, if not blue. Okay, top meteo. This is sort of 10 o'clock, shows cumulus and other bits of cloud lurking about, probably to that cold front. And then they show it slowly disappearing, and then blue for most of the day, with cumulus out to the far west. This is a similar sort of picture to yesterday, but we certainly saw more cumulus than Top Meteo was suggesting. And thermal heights, I think it should be going by 12 o'clock once that weak cold front feature has broken up and cleared through. So going to 3,000 feet by 12 o'clock, and then move it into the afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock local time. They're sort of saying 14, 15, 1600 meters, so around the 4,500 feet mark, out towards Oxfordshire and then up to the northwest into Cambridgeshire. And that appears to be the best sort of area to head for up around here, showing good into the London area and good down to the southwest. So lots of different options, but as I say, it really depends on how quickly this front goes through and the cloud breaks up. Sky sight, height of thermals, they're suggesting the same sort of thing, 1,500 meters out towards the north, the northeast, up towards Husbos, Peterborough area. Still good everywhere else, 12 to 1,400 meters. And their potential flight distance is the same sort of thing. Looks best out towards the north and into East Anglia. They're sort of showing, it was a little bit difficult to interpret sometimes on exact cloud amounts. They're showing blue with potential some cumulus in and around here where it gets hotter. Hard to tell really. I think it's one of those days that could be on the cusp of blue or small amounts of cumulus, depending on the dew points. Okay, so pretty reasonable day. Once it gets going and this cloud breaks up, and it should go till, as it did last night, it's quite late, 6 o'clock. It was still soarable yesterday. Right, airspace wise, looks a bit crowded on the map, but actually there's not really a lot going on. Most of these middle wallop are active with gliding, and most of these are just fly past 18, 20, fly past paragliding all around here in various places and events. This is a number 24 near Lasham. It's just not to overfly by military aircraft. The only relevant things out near Langport, there's parachuting between 14:45 and 15:15, and there's also parachuting further up the country, right tucked under the edge of the airspace to the south of Birmingham in Warwickshire, but that's not until 17:45 to 18:15, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for anybody. The big circle here is just a notification that the squawk frequency for Fairford next week for certain aircraft has changed. So apart from that, it looks cluttered, but there's very, very little of relevant airspace for anybody to worry about. Operationally, we've got jet movement. It was originally scheduled for 8 o'clock. It should be in at some point early this morning before we set up, but we're probably going to set up on 27 on the main runway and operate that way, and we'll see how that works. If there is going to be a change, it'll more than likely be changed to 09 and put up with the crosswind. Either way, I don't think we're going to go down to one of the cross runways because the wind is not quite strong enough to justify that. Right, so I saw the hangar being emptied first thing this morning. We'll get the club kit up and ready and hopefully get going after the jet movement.